wee hours of November 10th, 2018. Now, I would imagine most of you have voted. Hopefully you have voted in the midterms. And things went about as expected. We lost our House majority by just a couple of seats. But we picked up some Senate seats, which I think brings us up to 53, 54. So anyway, we know the morons in Congress, now that they got the majority, they're going to probably write up some articles of impeachment for the president and Brett Kavanaugh. Even though no high crimes, misdemeanors, or anything like that. I forget what the whole... I know there's like three things. I know it's high crimes and misdemeanors and, like taking bribes and selling our secrets to the enemy. Stuff like that. So they really just, the articles of impeachment say, we don't like Trump, we want to impeach him. But the good news is you need 2/3 of the Senate to convict, so it will go nowhere. Most of the stupid shit that's going to come out of the House is going to really go nowhere. They're going to try to cancel his tax cuts. See, they ought to make the tax cuts permanent now before they expire and the Democrats can take them away. To make it permanent, they have to draw up a bill to take them away, and of course the Senate won't sign that bill. And you still have veto power with the president, and nobody seems to have a veto-proof majority, so we're in pretty good shape. It's going to be a pain in the ass. They think they're going to create hell for Trump, and I think he's going to have fun just flustering these people for 2 years until we kick them out. Anyway, 2 sticking points I noticed for this election. One is, being from New Jersey, I'm damn ashamed that Menendez won. And I kind of think there's some fraud involved in that, because he was like a most hated man. I can't believe this state would rather take a bribe-taking pedophile, alleged pedophile, than a Marine, a veteran, somebody that made drugs for sick people. Even though the Democrats would try to tell you that, he charged $1 million for a fucking aspirin. And stupid shit like that. See, I'll put it this way. Democrats are the type of people, I wouldn't trust them with the time. I wouldn't trust them with the weather. I wouldn't trust them with fucking anything. And now we have a problem in Florida. Was it Broward County? And I forget what the other one is. But they seem to keep finding votes. And it's kind of funny how every time this happens, like I said, we know the deal, like with Brett Kavanaugh. We know at the last minute, a woman's going to come out of the woodwork. He touched me, he raped me, he fucking diddled my asshole, whatever. We know that kind of stuff happens. And this is another thing that constantly happens with the Democrats. They lose an election, but they don't close the polls, and boxes of ballots just keep showing up out of nowhere. They fall from the sky, they're in the sewer, they're in the back seats of people's cars, they're up the candidate's ass. And it's kind of funny how, it's only the Democrat ballots that get lost and show up late. It's kind of an amazing phenomenon. Really, it should be, it should be studied by scientists. I mean, it's such an odd occurrence. And you know what this odd occurrence is? It's bullshit. This is why we need voter ID laws. The Democrats will tell you they're for the people. How can you be for the people when you're stealing their fucking very vote? Oh, elect us. We're for the people. We're for the little guy. But if you don't vote for us, we'll just fucking rig it and take it from the little guy. So, I think something really needs to be done with that. You know what I would do? I would go with the 644,000. I would go with the count that they had the night of the election. Anything after that, they fucked themselves out of for being sneaky and corrupt. And we gotta push for these voter ID laws, because shit like this is gonna happen all the fucking time. But you get it to your thick heads, don't worry about these assholes call you racist. You tell me 25% of black people don't have a fucking ID? What the hell? You see, that's it. They call us racist, but they tell me that the Democrats turn around and tell us that black people are so inferior that they don't have ID. It makes no sense to me. I don't expect less out of anybody else than I would expect from myself. I have ID. I expect the next person to have some form of ID or access to ID. Whether they're white, black, Asian, Indian, whatever. I don't look down upon them and say, you must not have ID because you're a different color than me. See, that's the retarded shit I'm talking about. They tell us we're racist, but they treat you more than children, like animals. But that's okay. But we try to treat you equal, or we do treat you equal, and we're racist. The people that think of you as inferior, they're not the racist. You got to digest that and think about that. It's a twisted logic. That's why what they call liberalism is a mental disorder. But I don't like to call them liberals. I consider myself a liberal because I believe in liberty. These are just twisted, authoritarian, fucking mental patients. They don't deserve to be in government. They don't deserve to be in the process because they can't do it honestly. They can't debate. They whine and cry, scream and yell, call names. That's their idea of debating. Their idea of protesting, which is, in our Constitution, they're allowed to gather, to peacefully assemble, to redress grievances to their government. You're not allowed to run around breaking shit, harassing people on their fucking private property. I'm waiting. You told these mass protests on people's property, private property. Somebody's ass is going to get wasted. And I'll tell you what, then the Democrats and the news media is going to say, oh, look, they did violence on those protesters. Bullshit. You got exactly what you fucking asked for. Anyway, we got some problems. We got to deal with it. First thing is first. Florida, they elected a Republican senator and a Republican governor. They should get the Republican senator and the Republican governor. Second, we have to be prepared for when these Antifas, or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves any day of the week, run up on the wrong door and they break through it and they get their brains blown over the friggin' kitchen window. That's going to be another thing that's going to happen real soon. It's bound to happen. The way they're behaving, it's bound to happen. Somebody is going to get killed. And it's going to be a leftist. And then you're going to hear them cry like girls. You're begging for it. You're begging for it. You're begging for it. Then when you get it, you cry. So, man up and keep your mouth shut when it finally happens. Alright, everybody. Rough days coming. Democrats didn't get what they want, so they're probably still going to whine and cry. You see what happens? They didn't get what they wanted. They tell you they're for the elections, they're for the people. They're again, for the people, for the elections, they're for fairness, they're for this, they're for that. But look how they behave when they don't get the win. Remember, there was real people voting. Real people cast these ballots. You were rejected for the most part. Yeah, you got a couple seats in the House. But roundly, you didn't get your blue wave. You got your blue drip. So, my point is, they carry on to intimidate people to vote the other way or not vote at all. Which I'm telling you is not happening. We will go to the polls. We will vote for our candidate that we want to govern us. And whoever gets the most fairly will be governing. And if you don't get who you want, you suck it up and you find out how to do better for next time. You don't whine, cry, lament in the street and misbehave and cause violence. It's ridiculous. This has to stop one way or the other. And to be honest with you, there's no way I wouldn't not want to see it stop. Whether you stop on your own or they take you out feet first, I don't care. Anyway, if we can't have a nice fair election and one side not contend to be the loser, I mean, look, we lost the House. You don't see anybody lamenting in the street for it. No. We just know in 2 years we got to do better, and a lot of them will roll to victory on Trump's coattails. You watch. Trump's coattails are going to have a lot of Republicans on it. And you see the ones that weren't on his coattails this year, they got voted. All the rhinos, all the establishment, globalist types that said, no, I don't want to have nothing to do with Trump, 90% of them are gone. So that's a good thing. We will replace them with conservative, constitutional representatives. We will have judges that are constitutional representatives. It looks like the notorious Suck My D, RGB or whatever the fuck her name is, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's the I've fallen and can't get up lady now. She's not going to be there much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if her doctors are telling her, man, you got to get out of that. You can't even walk around your office without busting your ass anymore. And you see it all the time. The ladies get to be in their later 80s and they just like tumble around the house. You know, I've seen my parents' friends. You know, they'd be just walking through, they'd be falling over, banging their heads on shit, and eventually they got to go to the home because they can't be out on their own no more. She's pretty much done as a justice because she can't physically, just get up and walk around. She can't physically do the job, and I have questions about her mental stability anyway. Anyway, we could have a lot of good things ahead as long as we tough it out, and we got to go for the pushback. We can only stand and take so much, but I will not go down on my knee, and I will not take a step backwards. And hopefully you guys won't either. All right, everybody. Let's digest this and see what happens this weekend. Hopefully they'll have some federal agents and other investigations in the Broward County down in Florida about this election, and we'll get it straightened out with the duly elected senator and governor that were supposed to get the win, the Republicans. All right, everybody. You have a good night. Stay safe. By the way, I did some checking and found that Andy Kim has beaten Tom MacArthur. I believe that's the 3rd district, leaving Representative Chris Smith of the 4th district, the only Republican left in New Jersey representing us in Washington. Kind of sad. This state does have a suicide mission. And I've seen it time and time again. They vote these Democrats. I give it with a year's time. Everybody will be up in arms about the taxes, about the fucked up laws, about this, about that. And then they go vote them out. We get some Republicans, things improve, and then they vote them back out back to the Democrats to fuck everything up. It's like they like the punishment, but they know they have to cure themselves to be punished again. It's ridiculous. It's retarded. People in this state are largely retarded, but there are plenty of good people that know how to vote and know what they're voting on. They know what they're voting about. They know the civics of the country and understand that we're not a democracy. We're a goddamn republic. When I hear to protect our democracy, it makes me fucking want to vomit every time. You're not protecting a democracy because we're not one. You're protecting the republic, which is guaranteed a Republican form of government in every state of the Union in our Constitution. And also to be free from invasion, like coming over our southern border in 10,000 person caravans. All you need is tear gas and water cannons. There's your non-lethal. Wash them back over the Rio Grande River, back into Mexico. Alright, but that's what I really wanted to say, is Chris Smith is the only Republican left in Washington. We got the Kermit the Frog, fake superhero Booker. We got the bribe taker, alleged pedophile, Senator number 2, Menendez. So you got Booker and Menendez, the dynamic dumbasses. And then 20-something representatives. And one that stands out. Rep Smith, got your back. Good night.